Watch me ignite the fire inside this neon night. We are chasing the glory at this crazy height. Keep the target locked within your own clear sight. Everything we do feels purely and perfectly so right. Building a kingdom while playing this high-stakes game. Soon the entire world will remember my gold name. Walking through shadows but feeding this wild blue flame. Energy so massive that no one can ever tame. Waking up early just to stop the daily grind. Seeking the treasures that the lazy never will find. Focused vision is the only thing on my mind. Leaving all of the negative losers far away behind. Feeling the ground beneath me beginning to lolly shake. Walking the path that others are too afraid wait. Leaving a massive ripple across this very deep lake. No more promises that I am ever gonna break. Riding the rhythm and catching a brand new flow. Under the spotlight, watch how we start to glow. This is the secret that everyone wants to know. Putting on the biggest and the most iconic show. Looking at gravity like I am a falling star. Driving this journey until I have gone quite far. Raising the limit and lifting the heavy gold bar. Beating through life inside a custom racing luxury car. Reaching the peak and grabbing all of the power. Standing taller than every single cold city stone tower. Making it happen inside of a single golden hour. Diamonds falling down on me just like a shower. Taking the throne and making it my very own. Heavy is the weight of wearing this heavy crown. I am the talk of every single small town. Look at the empire that I have finally grown. Nobody is ever gonna stand in my way. Here at the top is exactly where I stay. Teaching the amateurs how they are supposed to play. Owning the morning and winning every single long day. Counting the stacks of all this heavy green cash. Sprinting the distance in a very quick sudden dash. Moving so fast that I will never ever crash. Lighting the fuse and watching the bright white flash. Entering into a very dangerous and focused high zone. Feeling the rhythm deep inside of every single bone. Ignoring the calls coming through on my cellular phone. Reaching the summit even if I am standing alone. Feeling the motor and the force of the drive. Never felt more vibrant or more truly quite alive. This is the garden where we finally will thrive. Taking the leap as we take a deep dive. Dripping in silver and covered in cold white ice. Living the life and it feels so very nice. Paying the toll and paying the very high price. Rolling the table and throwing the lucky red dice. Proving to them that I am simply the best. Flying my jet to the hills in the west. Wearing the heavy gold chains on my broad chest. Working so hard that I do not need rest. Walking the hall like I am a young king. Hearing the bells as they begin to loudly ring. Showing you all what the future will surely bring. Sharp like a blade with a very deep sting. Standing alone on the top of the highest peak. Showing no mercy to those who are acting weak. Let the results and the numbers loudly clearly speak. Design of the future is modern and very sleek. Always achieving more while I am doing much less. Playing the board like a master of grand chess. Cleaning up all of the drama and the mess. Handling the weight of the constant and heavy press. Keeping the vision in the dream forever, staying true. Painted the world in a shade of electric blue. Enjoying the glory of this perfect and wide view. Doing the things that they have no real clue. Hungry for victory and wanting so much more. Lifting the spirits up off the cold floor. Kick down the hinges of every single locked door. Hear the crowd giving me a loud massive roar. Diving into the water so very blue and deep. Working while all of the competition is fast asleep. These are the promises that I intend to keep. High value moves because we never act so cheap. Watching the footage on a very long film reel. Keeping the energy and the passion quite very real. Mind is as tough as a block of steel. Spinning around like a giant and heavy gold wheel. Looking at everything that we have finally just made. Knowing the legend will never ever begin to fade. Teaching relaxed underneath the cool and dark palm shade. Cutting the tension with a sharpened metal blade. Watching the sun as it starts to slowly rise. Keeping my focus on the big and shiny prize. Seeing the world through these very tired. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Check my bank account while I plan this flight. flight, climbing up the ladder toward a brand new height. Watch me ignite every single stage of pure light, moving like a ghost through the city every night with this golden prayer from a simple dirty dream. Everything I touch starts to glisten and to gleam, flowing through the system like a heavy liquid stream. Working till my vision is the only one in scheme. Hands up high because we on the entire street, moving with the rhythm of the heavy urban beat, leaving all the doubters in the middle of heat. Victory is tasting like a flavor truly very sweet. Never looking back because we found the perfect flow, burning like a furnace with a steady neon glow. Watching all the seeds that I finally did sow, rising to the peak where the chilly winds blow. Harder than the diamonds that they find deep inside, taking every chance with a lot of heavy pride, sipping on the chaos like a giant ocean tide, staying on the track while the fake ones slide. Do not need a label for the magic here, making all my enemies just vanish and then disappear, living life without a single ounce of any fear, keeping my direction and my focus very crystal clear. Put the money down like it is falling rain, breaking every link of the heavy man's lion chain. Listen to the muscles feel a little bit pain, only winners ever get to ride the private train. Sparking up the static in a crowded dark room, watch the lotus flower finally begin to slowly bloom, sweeping up the trophy with a golden metal broom, basses sitting heavy with a loud sonic boom. Boom, 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 loud sonic boom. Boom, 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 boom. Pour another glass of the expensive bitters pink wine, looking at the mirror and I see I shine. Everything I want is eventually gonna be mine, crossing over every single limit and the finish line. They can try to stop me, but I stay, turning all the darkness into a very bright day. Listen to the things that my spirit will say, living for the moment in a very bold way. Neon are flashing like a bolt from sky, spread the heavy wings because we wanna fly. Never told a secret over dirty little lie, look into the fire burning deep inside my eyes. Standing on the summit with a trophy in hand, leading every person in the middle of the land, doing all the things that we originally had planned, writing out my legacy upon the desert dirt hot sand. Pressure turns a coal into a very solid rock, listen to the ticking of the giant metal clock, walking with the rhythm in a very heavy shock, anchoring the vessel right beside the old wooden dock, moving really fast like a bullet from a gun, dancing in the heat of the golden summer sun, having so much energy and having so much fun, racing to the races very finally quite done. Designer on the body while I step on stage, turning over every single paper and a new page, breaking out of every single metal prison in cage, wisdom coming slowly with the coming of my age, counting up the paper till the fingers start ache, no more making any kind of silly little mistake, moving through the water of the very cold lake, eating every piece of the big frosted chocolate cake, feel the heavy thunder deep inside of your chest, putting all the power to a very final test, better than the others and the better than best, flying to the north and the east and west, living for the glory and a heavy golden crown, never let a hater ever bring a person down, driving in a Royce through the middle of town, wearing a designer and a very expensive silk gown. Wearing a designer and a very expensive silk gown. Looking to the future with a very sharp lens, chasing all the paper with my very best friends, making sure the money never ever really quite ends, healing every wound that a broken person amends. Farther than the concrete in the middle of park, lighting up the world with a very bright spark, swimming like a hunter or a very fast shark, leaving on the map a very permanent black marks. Silence is the weapon for a very quiet soul, taking back the power and the very full control, swallowing the fire in the very hot black coal, climbing up the mountain, the very highest snow. Heavy is the head that is wearing the gold, doing all the things that I was never told, breaking every shape and the very ancient heavy mold. Story of the journey that has finally been solved. Music is the rhythm of the life we live, having all the energy that I can never give, pouring out the water through a very metal sea, learning how to truly and to deeply just forgive. Markets hitting zero and the lights go black, never going back to the very old dusty track, putting all the jewels in a heavy leather sack.